Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's, I don't think only subscribers would be able to.
Hi.
So, yeah, but it's not like, and also the time that we settled on, they don't want to fill out. So I was just going to set it for next time. We can do problems that have happened. So I just wanted to
I didn't even look out of breath. 88. Like I came okay. Like give me another one.
I'm putting in a good chat or something.
I'm like
And then like a week after 1:30. Was at 2:30.
It's like super early.
Yeah, so I don't know.
it's very
How many people have
How are you? Oh my god, hey, bruh.
Okay, find one box.
And I was like, oh, it's on box. I don't remember what it was.
What did I reference?
Oh, you want to? Oh,
During work, I referenced or now or just came back.
I know it was something that maybe like, so I was like, oh, it's right here.
Color palettes. The hex
No.
I don't know how committed you are to the bit.
No, that's insulting.
I'm not committed enough, apparently.
I'm insulted that you like that.
Die.
Look at your arm, but it's
You die.
No, it's
Literally tell me to fuck off, but don't tell me I'm not convinced.
Look up the hex code.
It wasn't the hex code.
You weren't committed enough to the hex code. I just feel like
Oh, it's not a big
I'm thinking your opinion.
factual.
Nothing you say is factual. Nothing you say is factual.
That's true, because I'm never wrong, so it's always
Okay.
you guys say it's honest on the street.
Okay.
One time, tell me I was wrong.
I start writing down.
Tell me one time I was wrong. I can't tell you two.
Your stories. Yeah, stories, whatever. Yeah.
She has literally the little interest. I was like,
Okay. We could
going crazy for a
graphic for the focus group. They got moved to story.
I put a lot of effort into it. Now it's
Give you the picture. Okay, thank
we don't have time for it in the GBM. I got Keith Eric's house.
We rise at dawn. Let's go. We ride at dawn. I think I typed that in the chat. You guys didn't say anything. Oh, I sent it this morning on Snapchat. Okay, so
I was like, we rise at dawn.
You said we rise at dawn because something happened. Like you said, like that was like a long run. We're on for like 5 It's so. Oh my god, I can't reference it yet because we haven't. Like, I feel like this this one.
Not that bad.
I like this one. That's what I was. Why can't you see? I'll be back.
I got
It was postponed?
Yes.
Tomorrow.
7 of the angel.
I was wrong. No, I actually didn't order. Who are you?
I don't know.
Dude, she's telling everyone about
I'm gone.
Camera host you. I'm probably gonna get I think Dmitrii, but I just sent it early. I'm going to get Kendra. I would push everyone down. She saw her name. I was going to do it earlier.
Do you need help or are you good?
Well, you should have done it. Well, for example, Donnie came in. Ew. We were doing ASMR. Can we make it an ASMR ASMR. There we go.
ASMR.
We read our chapter report.
Read major.
No, I know. Chris isn't like
Yeah, major is good.
Hey, who was a major? You download it by sending it. You can say it here. Send me the camera.
I was like, can you get your steak?
Do you have a 1 in your email?
01. Yeah.
I say she didn't. I literally never did.
Because you got angry. You got mad. You got like really angry. I sent. I was like, I'm gonna do this later because I have to.
Hi everyone! We're getting started with the general body meeting today. Welcome to AMA. Is it anyone's first time? Yay! Okay. I'm Teju. I'm one of the co-presidents.
Brianna, the other co-president.
You need to email us. That's our email.
So some facts about AMA here at USF. We're a community organization. We're 43 years old. Our chapter is number 7 in the nation out of 320, and we have 43 people.
So what's happening today? We're doing our little AMA introduction. We're having our sponsorship ceremony. And then we're also having Dmitrii from PPK.
So these are our upcoming events. Again, sponsorship ceremony today, and then next week starts marketing week. And then the first event is a marketing week, cake cutting and social. And you can scan this QR code for all of our events.
All right. These are our committees. We're not going to have everyone pitch today, but we have marketing, fundraising, consultables, our student agency, CASE, professional development, events, membership, DEI, and social impact. On the next slide, if you're interested in any form where you can just express your interest.
So these are the benefits to being an AMA. We have weekly speakers and professional development events. You'll gain membership in AMA USF, AMA Tampa, and AMA National. You'll have access to internship opportunities, events, and you'll have the opportunity to serve on our executive board and gain real-world experience. And you will be a part of a marketing community here at USF.
Our membership is $45 a year, and that breaks down to less than $4 a month. And you can pay through our eShop. It actually might not be working right now. Don't pay through our eShop yet.
I was just gonna say don't.
Oh, okay. If you need to pay your dues, like you have your 3 free meetings already done, just hang tight. Next meeting we'll have updates. Yeah. quick announcements and upcoming events for today.
The big and little program still exists. We're looking for mainly littles. We have a bit of bigs. It's a great way to understand AMA. AMA is so big and there's so many like things happening. It's like a good way to like understand it. There's a Halloween social coming up and yeah, it just looks good on your resume. So yeah, you can scan those QR codes. I forgot to put them everywhere.
All right. And really quick, AMA National, like the collegiate, are having their collegiate summit. It's only for college students. It's October 20th to 21st, all remote. And it's $45, and that includes your AMA membership. So you're kind of getting a free membership or a free conference, however you look at it. And amazing keynotes, a marketing panel, interview workshop, case competition, and again, free AMA membership. If you take advantage of this, just make sure to like Slack me or Bree, and we'll make sure to notate that on your membership.
This is how you can stay updated, our social media and then our website. And this is the QR code to our Slack where you'll get all of our updates and announcements. And you can also join group chats on Slack as well.
Yes. I know that was fast. Are there any questions?
I just make an announcement. If you guys ordered the Marketing Week shirts, I do have them, so please see me after the GBM.
No more questions. We're going to start our sponsorship ceremony. Please get food. Okay, so how it's gonna go is that we have little certificates, and we're gonna call everyone's name. And once we call your name, you can come up here, take a photo with me and Bree as a congratulations.
We're doing individual photos? I thought we were on time. On time. Fine.
Doing individual photos.
And then we're gonna have you get in a line in that corner.
How's the water pressure? Oh, you're there too? Oh, nice.
I met you, right? Yeah. Were you sitting behind me when I sat down?
No, I'm laughing.
I
was already I know. I'm sure there'll still be someone.
You got up to this. I'll wear it tomorrow. This is huge. She is our new external activity. That was wrong. I went to the because I live in so much easier. I was always trying to like, what do you expect? You had some really great ideas. Run around the back.
Look at them. I think it's like,
So you want to come?
oh, I don't know.
I was literally like, I really know it's so good, but
Whatever's up.
eu sou sua mãe. Eu não sei se é sua mãe, você já tem
If it wasn't for my intervention daily,
Someone just accepted.
I'm literally right here.
that's crazy. Yeah,
Oh, I see it up over here.
It's also on this. Like,
She was literally like this. I just want to make sure that
everyone take it. Yes.
Jay, I'm up first.
Yeah.
And then if I don't want to Alright, you're exclusive to me.
Nobody else did.
I'm okay with this. Yeah.
I don't have my glasses on.
Look at my eyes.
It's like, okay, we're gonna start calling out names.
I apologize if I butcher anyone's names, but it will be on the screen. So if you see your name, come on up. All right, our first scholarship goes to Dodd SC, presented by Carrie Walsh, or sponsored by Carrie Walsh. All right, next, sponsored by Lindsay Schiller, we have Kaylee.
Can you take a picture? Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't ready for that. Camera on? Should be. Don't check. It's a little dark, but. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Sponsored by Justin
So sorry.
All right, next up we have Ariadne.
Can you stand?
I'm scared.
Okay, next we have Oriana, sponsored by James Spencer. And now we're going to have one of our amazing sponsors come up and present her sponsorship.
I picked this person because I really like the essay she wrote, and we met the other day, and she's pretty cool. So I don't know. Oh, and I've sponsored 4 or 5 times now. I used to be an AMA, sitting in this exact room. A lot of fun, good times. Definitely be involved because you'll get a lot out of it. So yeah. I don't know. Woo!
And you can stand at the van.
What?
Not you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right, next we have Kim. Sponsored by Dana Gordon.
Thank you. You can stand right over there. We're gonna take a group photo.
Next we have Annalise, also sponsored by GBM. Next we have Venkata, sponsored by Susan.
He's gonna say my name wrong.
We have Isabella, sponsored by Derek. Yeah, do you want to Then we have Tanish, sponsored by Julie McCare. Then we have Then we have Tabitha, sponsored by Andrea.
That's true.
Also sponsored by Andrea. We have We have Laura, sponsored by Barbara.
And then let's go. There you go, also sponsored. We have Morgan Shapiro, also sponsored by Barbara. We have Quindred, also sponsored by Barbara. Y'all can come right here.
Come over here. We're gonna
Photo, group photo.
group photo.
Yeah, we're sponsored.
Hey. Want to be in this photo?
We're gonna need a sweet line. Line, people in the front. Me or out. Definitely.
Sorority school.
No, okay, you can stay. You can stay for a little bit. You can stay. Everybody look at me. What?
It's Derek's face with the projector.
I think so. He's just gonna be a little more lit up, but. You guys are gonna be in the picture? So you can do one with that, we'll do one with. Okay, everybody look at me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, can we do one with the president in it?
Picture.
And Paige.
Ready?
Yeah, there's you're right here. Paige and Brianna, you are crossed out of it. I would say go on this side. Put in front of Mateo, and then Brianna's out of it.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Literally, they're trying to
Can you get in a little more? Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Can I get a round of applause for our membership team who put this entire thing together? I don't know.
Hi guys, I'm gonna speak to you guys really quick about Marketing Week before we move on to our amazing speaker that we have today. Marketing Week is our week-long event that's gonna be happening October 2nd to October 8th, and I'm just gonna go through some graphics to explain really quick all the events that we have going on. So Monday. All right. So on Monday we have our kickoff event, and then we're gonna be playing trivia games like surrounding marketing topics, and then we're gonna do our cake cutoff, and then we also have a branding competition. The winner is gonna receive a cash prize, and that's gonna be happening in BSN 225 October 2nd from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. So it's a really good opportunity. Make sure you come. Make sure you bring your friends. You guys can compete against each other, probably in a team as well. Whatever it fancies you fancy.
What's your fancy?
Yeah. So then we have our AMA fair. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be happening in the Muma Breezeway, and it's going to be happening from 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. October 4th, and there's going to be a lot of cool tabling happening. We have a whole bunch of different orgs that offer volunteering opportunities. We're going to be having headshots and resume reviews. And it's going to be a really cool, fun event. Hop by like between classes whenever you can. Also, marketing is going to be having like a little podcast thing going on, and it's going to be awesome. This is where you can RSVP for a resume review. We're going to have a couple of professionals be reviewing resumes, and it's going to be limited. So if you really want your resume reviewed by some really cool people, go ahead and RSVP. And if you don't have a chance to RSVP right now, talk to me after the meeting. And then on Thursday, we also have a collaboration event with Celsius and the Business Development Club that will be happening here in BSN 211 at 5 p.m. There's going to be a pitch competition, and that is also going to require RSVP. Talk to me after the meeting as well. And there's networking opportunities, and also there's going to be some recruiters from Celsius as well.
It's not 211, it's 221.
Oh, sorry, my bad. It's 221, BSN 221, and then the dress code will be business casual. Also happening during the week, we have Lunch and Learn with Jonathan Mori. He is a cool, very awesome president of Maintain Digital, which is an agency located in St. Pete. And this will be happening at BSN 225 from 12 to 2 p.m. The topic will be Google AdWords, and it's going to be a really good opportunity for everybody that's interested in learning a little bit more about all the Google certifications that are available. Yes.
I just want to add into that. It's a really good Lunch and Learn because a lot of companies, when you go into marketing, they're going to want you to know Google Ads. My internships making me learn right now how to use it.
Yeah, and this guy, Jonathan, is awesome. He's really, really passionate about it. He's super excited about it. Like, this is a really, really good one to go to.
He has a decade of experience in all this, so it's really cool opportunity. And then on Friday, we have, after the company tour that will also be held in Maintain Digital in St. Pete, we have a karaoke night and a little social that we're going to have going on. So if you want to come out and socialize with all of the rest of your friends, all our members, if you're new and you want to put yourself out there and make new friends, definitely come to the karaoke night. It's going to be at BB2 Chicken, and they have two really big karaoke rooms. Guys, don't laugh, not funny. It's a really cool place, and the tickets are only $7. And yeah, come show up. And here is a RSVP form for that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's
Any questions? Any questions?
Guys, I'm so excited for. Are you guys okay? Anyways, I'm so excited to introduce Dmitrii. He is the Interactive Creative Director at PPK here in Tampa, and he is a German-born Russian, I think. And he actually started out in the finance industry with the Moscow Stock Exchange. But in 2011, he received a scholarship to come study here in Tampa. And in 2013, he he went into the marketing industry. And now he's been working at PPK for the past 8 years. And he's transformed his team from 2-person operation to this 20+ person powerhouse in the American Southeast. So I'm so excited to introduce our speaker today, Dmitrii.
Is there like a filter? I'll stop.
That's what
What is there to like about it? I mean,
I'm honored to see things to go. All right, guys, thank you so much for having me. My name is Dmitrii. Thank you for introduction. I cannot believe you memorized that. I'm very flattered. So today we will talk about me. Slide 2. Okay. So have you guys seen South Park? You know how they kind of have like disclaimer before each episode? So this is mine. The following program and everything mentioned in it is based solely on Dmitrii's experience and does not represent legal advice in any shape or form. Dmitrii's opinion is personal and is not associated with USF. Course language warning. Also, this deck sucks. We'll get over that. So this will be with heavy focus on international students. Where are my international students at? We got plenty. Awesome. Okay. This will be less about work, even though we can talk about advertising and work a little bit. It's going to be a little more intimate about kind of my journey. Not to be selfish. I'm sure you'll be able to pick something up out of it. So yeah, I practiced the entire halftime before coming here. So if there's any hiccups, we're going to work through it together. In the meantime, make sure you ask questions. This will be very helpful because I can answer your questions and we can make sure I'm not just talking at you guys. Raise your hand or do not yell out, talk to me. Let's make this a conversation. And without further ado, are you ready to take some pictures or look at some pictures? Okay, we got the top part. And pictures. Here's me. So I was born in Germany today, 35 years ago. That's my mom and my dad. My mom has cool hair. My dad was that? Yeah. So anyways, my dad was a medic and a dentist in the USSR Army. He was stationed in Germany. That's why I was born there. My mom made cool sweaters and made more money than my dad in the military because deficit. And I went to school in Russia. This is little me. I was 6 years old, and that's exactly also the age when my parents sent me to school to learn English. I think the first word I learned was cucumber, and it was fun to say. And then this is me going second year school to play exercise. I'm already learning my English. Did normal Russian things. This is me in the middle. Does anyone know a band called Limp Bizkit?
Yeah.
Okay. Somehow, like my buddy was this huge Limp Bizkit fan, and all of his facial hair he could amass at the age of like 14. He would dye to make this little goatee, just like Fred Durst, who's actually, fun fact, from Florida. And he spent like his entire year trying to find a hat just like Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit, says New York Yankees. So you can see we've already been kind of influenced by Western culture. And that's me in the middle. And of course, growing up doing normal Russian things like sharing a ciggy with my grandmother. No, she doesn't smoke, me either. She's alive and well. And I finished school and I went to college. I honestly did not care what I studied in college. I had very little agency. I just wanted to kind of hang out and, be with my friends and party. Here's me and my best pal playing Wii Sports, probably tennis. That's our college class. That's me. It's each hair change, but still a lot. But the most notable thing here is, even though, again, I studied finance and banking, didn't care too much. But one thing I cared about is taking photos. This is probably already my third or fourth camera, and I would bring my camera everywhere, photograph everything. And let's go to the next slide. I like to party. This is the biggest hair I had. This is Red Square. Again, not much of a finance guy, but I did like to make mixtapes and play it for my friends. This is a little bootleg party that was thrown at my friend's house. Georgia Tech is the first school that I went to in America. We had an exchange program in Atlanta for a month, and I had a blast. I think the most notable thing here is, again, kind of, I guess, the influence of West. I was always a fan of, Western, British, and American music, culture. I did not live in Moscow when I went to school there, to college, but I had to go there every day. So every day I would commute for 3 hours on average. That would be 3 hours of listening to music for me. And that kind of helped me start honing my creativity. I think that most arts kind of have a lot in common. Like in music and in a picture, you have contrast and, repetition, alignment, and all that good stuff. So with my love for music and photography, that's where my creative stuff started. And let's go to the next slide, please. All right, this is the icebreaker. All right, where are you guys from? International students?
Brazil. Panama.
Panama, cool. A lot of Venezuela, okay. Central South America, awesome. What else do we have?
Vietnam.
Brazil?
Oh no, Vietnam.
Vietnam, awesome. Asia, cool.
Honduras.
Honduras?
Yeah.
Nice. Peru, right on. A lot of South America, yeah, represent. Anybody else? All right. Clearly, the ice is broken. We're all warm and just fucking chilling, so let's carry on. America. When I graduated from college, I worked in stock exchange for a little bit. I did not really know what I wanted to do, but I knew where I wanted to be. And this is in the beautiful country of opportunity. And I spent my summer after graduating studying for exams. I took IELTS or TOEFL. I think it's one of those English exams. Oh, this is a bad slide. Take a photo of. And I took GMAT, which is an engineering/business exam. And so I took that. I passed okay, and I passed enough to get into 2 American schools. I didn't know much about how things are done. I didn't know what a credit is. I got a scholarship, a graduate assistantship, to go to University of Delaware and University of Tampa. And I was looking them up, and I looked up UT, and it's like, oh, Riverwalk, the longest continuous walkway, and palms and sea. I'm like, hell yeah. And I looked up University of Delaware, and the first thing that came up was they have the Guinness World Record for the biggest snowball fight on campus. I said, fuck that. I had enough snow growing up in Russia. I'm going to Florida. And the first thing that I did arriving into America is shooting some guns. I'm not a gun person, but I had a friend who just took me. We thought it was fun. Some dude had Dragunov rifle, which I guess is Russian, and he said, shoot this. And I said, okay. And I had a lot of a kickback. Next, I was drinking the American Kool-Aid big fucking time. So my next step was to join a fraternity, PKE. Yeah. This is me right here. And so this whole party was busted that night. I was the only, I think, grad student, so everybody else was underage, and I was fine. They were not. This was my roommate. He was from Norway. His name was Mats. He did a lot of like chewing tobacco. He was cool too. He was very outgoing. And let's carry on. So I was going to school. I was getting my master's in finance. Halfway there, I switched to marketing. School was kind of easy. I did homework and it was all right. And I realized that I can use this time. Like I was finally starting to kind of get some agency over my life. Like, what the fuck do I want to do? Why? And what do I like doing? And I was trying to follow that. One thing I kept doing is bringing my camera everywhere. Work, classes, beach, anywhere. It's going to be rapid fire slideshow, so get ready. So a fashion shoot. Do you want to come and like hold a reflector in the sun? Yeah, Dmitrii's there. You want to go, smell the UT hockey team in the locker room, take some photos? I was there. App tours, I was there. Beach with the boys, I took photos. Some random fashion shoot for an entrepreneur in Ybor, I was there. Holy celebrations, fun, I was there. Republican Party boys watching election night, I was there taking photos. Of course, sports, I was there. Some dude invented this thing called ocean cycle, which is supposedly harness the electric power of the ocean if you just put it in the water. I don't know if it works. I took a photo. Car shows, I was taking photos. Skate parks, woo! Church photos, and all the other stuff. So we'll stand this up for a while. I guess the notion is that I was just happy to be out of finance. I didn't hate finance, but I loved this creative stuff a lot more. And I didn't get paid for any of that. I just had this like urge to just be out there and be clicking my shutter and picking up memories, and I was the photo guy. I took this video of a McLaren car for Dimmitt Auto Motorship dealership for $50. I was also making music in my dorm. You see, we're just like cathartic singing with a guitar. I was recording some music too, so I used that time in college outside of just studying and making friends to explore my kind of creative domain. So what I'm wanting to say here is you also have a superpower. Well, duh. What I mean is like being young and being in college, a lot of people like me you have so much vigor, you have so much life power. Your whole life is ahead of you. Not like that it's not ahead of me. I'm still chilling. But think about what is that thing that gives you the urge so much? What is that you want to do? What gets you excited? Because this is now the time and place to explore that, and you can use that. And even though graduating college, you're kind of at the bottom of the pyramid. You're starting off, you're trying to find a job. There's people with experience out there. You're at the bottom of the barrel. But you do have the superpower. You're fresh, you got energy, you want to make cool ads or marketing or whatever. Just like figure it out, focus on it, and leverage it because you have it. Mad Men, who's seen the show? All right, few people. I think HBO, basically it is kind of like a drama show, but it's heavily focusing on advertising. If you're into advertising, you owe yourself to watch that. Of course, there's like alcoholism and cheating and all that good stuff that's normally in the show, but also there's a lot of historical advertising references. There's a lot of references to campaigns that changed the world of advertising, like the Volkswagen ad that says lemon. See some nods, cool, that's good enough for me. They reference that, they reference like Lucky Strike, all the slogans, how it came about, super cool. I'll make music, we can carry on. All right, so this is lesson 1. We're going to have several lessons and kind of to summarize, so it's not just looking at my pictures. I have it written down. Hold on. I want to make sure I don't miss it. This is probably the most important one, at least to me. Okay. So it says, there's our slides. Know what you want and why. The system is not going to take care of you. Don't let others determine how you live your life, because they will. Nothing happens because you think it should. The world isn't fair. It's fine to take time to figure out what you want to do, but you have to put effort into exploring it. So this goes back to, taking agency over your life and over where you want to go. Not knowing is fine, and it takes time, but, put effort into figuring out what the fuck you want to do, because otherwise you'll do that somebody else wants you to do, and you're not going to be happy. It's never late to do that. It's never late to change, to explore new things. So, take responsibility for your life. You're player one. And we carry on. So I graduated. I was hoping that I will gotta get out of college. Of course, I have a master's degree, so I'll be making big bucks. I was thinking maybe like $60,000 a year. And of course, I found none of that. I found looking for jobs very difficult. I found that advertising doesn't really give a shit about your degree, especially if it's a grad school. Mine was master's in marketing then. And I was looking for different things. Apples did not want me, shocker. And I started to see what else I can do. And this is what I did. I thought, shit, well, I will make an ad campaign for myself. I figured out that I had to go the extra mile to get the job in advertising that I wanted. And that's exactly what I did. So this is inspired by Mad Men, the art. Took some photos, going the extra mile for a job in advertising. In fact, it's 495 miles. I'll explain why. So here's the concept. Basically, it's like a self-promotion campaign / networking opportunity initiative. I would reach out to advertising people, to entrepreneurs, to like local people who did the work that I wanted to do. The first person I reached out to was actually AMA president in the University of Tampa. And I would ask them out on a walk. We would walk together. I would ask them questions about their job, advice for their young students or old students. And I would then write a blog. I would take a photo, and I would record all of it. So it would look something like that. You can go to the next slide. So I'd be like, hey, mile, first walk, 1 mile. We're going to go in a shape of 1. 3, 4, 5. This is my 5-mile walk in a shape of 5. It was just like a nice little touch. Took photos with people, ended up kind of hanging out with cool people. This guy, I think his name is Vinny Tufuro. He is like a local entrepreneur, thought leader. He wrote this book called Conscious Capitalism. Roberto Torres, he was doing that fashion brand, but now he's most known for the coffee shop chain Blind Tiger on an Ybor. So we walked and, talked. We can go to the next slide. I was so fucking thirsty for a job in advertising. Don't do that. You gotta, mind your dignity. And of course, eventually I worked with this lady, Jen Greason, who was the manager and the owner of a little shop in St. Pete called the Clear Agency. None of the logos in this deck is correct. This is kind of what it looked like. It was a small shop in the center of St. Pete, off the main street, Central. And we go to the next slide. Oh yeah, so I came in hot because I had my laptop and my camera, and I was taking photos left and right going to school. And I had what I would consider a leg up over people who graduated with their bachelor's degree, because I was a lot more cognizant and purposeful with what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to be in advertising. So I came with some skill and effort, and then started taking photos for the clients, for the agency. That's me on a scooter in the agency. 2013, every agency would have either a scooter or a skateboard. We can get to the next slide. This is our group. The agency was very industrious. They only had maybe 2-3 people full-time. Otherwise, it was independent contractors, interns. So we're kind of running ourselves. Let's go back, sorry. One thing to mind as you go to school and internships, kind of watch out for people around you, because you're going to meet a lot of cool people, and a lot of them you want to stay in touch with. I think this girl, Lisa, she's a producer in Hollywood now. This guy works for Blizzard. He worked in Diablo, the most recent game. So a lot of cool people, and we can carry on. And I hope this sounds not going to be too loud. That video that I filmed of McLaren, I have actually put it together into a video. The work itself is okay, but it's significant for the story. Okay, so it's just simple. The car was rotating on this, that's this video is all right. Now you can probably make something with an iPhone. But I also wrote the song too. And I'm writing music for it. I put it all together. The car is rotating, this and that. Final cuts written all over it. Track. And nothing. Amateur. So I made this video for Dimit, automotive for like $50. It was a cool car. Basically, this inadvertently became like the pillar piece of my portfolio. And I guess like it kind of blew up. There's like tens of thousands of views. Motherfuckers started taking like ownership credit for my song because I didn't. They're like, look, this is like Stas Hard and Fast. And then like Dmitrii. I don't know what that means. I think like it kind of popped off. And when the Clear agency found out I did this, they're like, oh shit, well, you should be like our production manager and take photos and videos. Let's carry on. And they agreed to sponsor my work visa. Woo! If you are not an international student, I would say have empathy and love for your international student folks because they're going through a lot. They have to, fight very hard for the rights to work in this country that you have by default, just to have this opportunity to build this life here. And one of the things they need to do often is to get a work visa, which means the company has to sponsor you. They have to put all the paperwork together, about $10,000 of fees and everything, and you may not even get it because it's a raffle. So it's a hard buy for a company. Let's carry on. So I kept working, kept taking photos. This girl who works, I think, at Netflix now, he works at SideZoo. So a bunch of cool people, cool experiences. We can carry on. One of the cool campaigns I worked on, I planned this whole production, was this campaign for Yogurtology, the yogurt shop, with Ryan Lochte. He's the University of Florida graduate. So we opened the shop there, introduced limited time, flavors of the yogurt. And I got to hang out with him for a day and film him signing the flavors. He's all right. All right, lesson 2. All right, if I get in trouble for one slide, it's this one. Who here has seen the show 90 Day Fiancé? All right, a lot more than Mad Men. Good. So that's how the show goes. Normally, so the show is about love across the borders. Somebody goes out, most time out of a developed country like America, and they meet somebody they fall in love with in some other country. Most of the time it's Asia or South America, Russia, Ukraine, less developed country. And they build love, and then this other person comes to the United States for 90 days. And that's like the fiance visa. And in the 90 days, they have to figure out if they love each other, they want to get married. And the one tendency you will see in this show is that there's always like disproportionate amount of value. You're like, look at this, like, how did this man or woman who's like never seen the inside of the gym, and then this fantastic looking, woman from like Vietnam or Brazil or Russia. And that's because they want to live in America. So that's how the value proposition is balanced. Again, this is a very cynical approach. So I hope I don't upset any of you. But what I'm saying is, as an international student, you're in 90 Day Fiancé, and you have to bring disproportionately more value to the table. You have to come in and fuck it up so hard that they're going to want to vouch for you, that they want to sponsor your visa and help you build the future in this country. All right, we can carry on. And so as I was working for the Clear agency, we did some fun work. We launched this Pisco brand, and Pisco is like Peruvian. We have Peru here, right? There you go. You know what Pisco, you like it? Pisco sour.
Just a sour, yeah.
Yeah. So it's essentially great vodka, right? Yeah. So we took photos with alpacas. We launched the brand. That was kind of cool. We can carry on. I took some random photos of chiropractors in St. Pete. We can carry on. We did this one campaign for, I'm sorry, this is a piece portfolio, my old portfolio page, but this is Gasparilla International Film Festival. And we got this model to pose inside of Tampa Theater, and it was a school photo shoot. And this whole campaign was built around the Magic 8th Ball because it was their 8th year. Cool campaign. You can carry on. Working with some clients, local clients, mostly Pisco, Ceviche, Herbatology, Movie Festival, UT, Fit Life Foods. And April came, and there was no visa. Basically, they told me that, the lawyer's going to take care of that. I got you, Dmitrii. And, I would say they kind of let me down a little bit. I was maybe too timid to advocate for myself, perhaps, to ask, where's that visa? Like, how we're doing that? And the thing with work visa is that you can only apply pretty much 1 week, last week of March. And by April, the raffle starts and it's all given away. So pretty much you have 1 week of opportunity window in a year to get your work visa as an international student, which means I was fucked. So let's carry on. You see I'm sad. Let's carry on. So lesson 3, you only get the rights you fight for. Martin Luther King. Know what you want and ask for it. You don't have to be an international student. You just know that, you have to advocate for yourself. You don't have to be, unpleasant about it, but no kind of piggybacking on the first one. Know what you want, fight for your rights. The bad way to put it is the squeaky wheel gets the oil, but fight for your rights, man. Do it for you. Do it for yourself. All right, a little break for questions. Yeah, please.
How did you manage to stay if April came around and there was no work visa?
Good question. We'll get to that.
Left us
I
hanging.
didn't mean
Like,
to be rude, but
you're in the
that's
middle of the story.
You're kind of ruining my story right now. Probably no question after me being rude like that. Let's carry on. So my OPT ran out, which is the year you can work in America as an international student after you graduate. And my lawyer told me to get married. I had an American girlfriend then, and so I went back to school. I went back to University of Tampa. I got a job sorting mail to offset the payments a little bit. I did not want to get married. And that's how I won more time to, figure myself out in this country. Lesson 4, be different, try harder, cast a narrow net. So when I went back to school, I already knew what I was wanting. I knew that, I wanted to work for an ad agency and this and that. I knew that I had to try harder than everybody else to get my sponsorship. And I knew that I had to cast a narrow net. So this whole thing of sending out 100 resumes doesn't really work. What you want to do instead is identify companies that you would love to work for, and then network with those people. See what kind of people they're looking for. How can you bring the most value to their company? Research them, tailor your resume and your offering to what they need. And I'll demonstrate how I did it later on. Who knows this guy? Alex Boguski. All right, so this is the closest I ever gotten to man crush. So let me demonstrate. I have this book here. So this guy is the creative director of the decade between 2005 and 2015. That's a year, 10 years. Okay. I have this book here. I'll pass around. He was the CEO, switched off the agency called CP+B, Crispin, Porter, and Boguski. This was the coolest fucking ad agency at that time. Everybody wanted to work there. They did the coolest goddamn work. I have their book here. They did work for, IKEA and Mini, and they were known for this badass culture, attracting the best creatives, the best advertising people, and I just wanted to work there so bad. The work they did is so cool. It's just I don't even know. I'll pass this around, but they did a lot of cool work for Mini. Weird stuff that got people talking, and I just wanted to be part of that so bad. They kind of started this whole rumor that there was a real life robot roaming the streets, and they started websites as if people were spotting the robot, and they found all these books like Robots Among Us, and people were just what the fuck's going on? And then it turned out to be a commercial for a new Mini. It's a transformer. This is just one of the examples. I'll pass it around. Just give it back to me when you're done. You can, But I really wanted to be part of this agency. They had offices in Boulder, in LA, in Europe. And so I started networking with people. I just scoped them out on Twitter and everywhere. And I started talking to them. Let's carry on. Oh, well, we don't have to watch that. But this is the dude, Alex Boguski, super badass, cool creative director. He was the surfer kind of guy vibe, but at the same time, he had very cool sensibilities, was a great manager. Probably the video is going to play now, but we don't have to. They were just a cool agency, man. They were like so awesome. And I was such a fanboy. I drove out to Colorado to take a photo with their office. It was fucking closed for holidays, but I still took a photo. So what's a COG? Basically, one of the things about the agency was that, you know how when you start a campaign, you approach it from the standpoint of a creative brief. It's like the assignment. And they would look at their briefs as press releases. Like they basically were asking themselves, how can we make an ad campaign that would get people to talk? And they had this position of COG. COG is short for cognitive anthropologist, which is like a fancy way to call a strategist, which is essentially a person who does research into like demographics, pop culture, and this specific COG had to do with international culture. And that's what I wanted to fucking be very hard. I wanted to be kind of international strategist for Crispin Portland Boguski. And so I figured out, all right, the extra mile thing clearly worked. What can I do next? And so, because I was taking photos and traveling, I made a lot of friends around the world. And I thought, well, who could better endorse me for being worldly and international than all of my international friends? So I scoped out the like key HR lady of Crispin Portland Boguski on Twitter, I think. And I made this list of all of my friends all around the world. And I reached out to all of them and I asked them, please send a postcard to this fucking lady and tell them how good I am. Tell them, and like, hey, South Korea, my name is Yoon from Seoul. I'm writing this card to describe our relationship between Dmitrii and me. We met in Nashville, of all places, and explored the land of country together. Land of country, okay. It was pretty easy to connect with Dmitrii, and I'm sure he would be a great COG intern at Crispin Portland Boguski. Just one of them. I had a shitload. Zurich, Denmark. We can carry on. There's more postcards. San Diego, Russia. I think probably Norway. A ton of cards, and her like post people, her office managers would bring all these cards every week to her, and she'd be like, "What the fuck is this guy? We got to talk to him." And so we did. We did talk, and basically. She's like, hey, dude, you come and intern with us. Come to California. Let's make it happen. But we got to make it happen in September. And I'm like, well, I got to go to school. And she's like, well, get like a J visa or something. Figure your shit out. And I couldn't. I went to University of Tampa, like international student office, and they did not help me find a solution. They said, if you don't go to school full time, 8 credits, you will lose your status of, international student, your visa. And so they were just not fucking helpful. And the worst part, I don't think I persisted enough. I could not take the internship that I worked so hard to get into because of all the immigration bullshit. So our lesson is, your heart was broken. International student or not, things happen in life. Your heart will get broken. Plan to change the plan and know your options. Questions? All right, that's what I thought. Okay, my next chapter. Sickle hunter, fucking financial advisor. You'd be like, Dmitrii, we thought you left finance. Well, why are you doing that? Well, that's why. I had this guy. As a part of my MBA program that I was now studying, I had a mentor. And, we met with him and he was this like older dude. And he was like, well, do you want to work in advertising or you want to live in this country? And I thought, well, I probably should start with like living here because if I leave, I won't be here. And he's like, well, then focus on finding a company that will sponsor a visa for you. And so I found them at the like internship there. Local financial advisors. I did some we concepted a video for them, your typical financial advisor. Let's grab a cup of coffee and discuss how we spend your money. And like I took photos of the events, and they sponsor work visa for me. Woo! And I gave so little shits about this company that I didn't even get a picture. Because April came and there's no visa. Yeah. No, it's a happy ending. Don't worry. So, carry on. Lesson 6. All right. So this is a hard-hitting one. Do not lose your dignity. Keep your head up. International students specifically, but for everybody. So like as an international student, it's tough to find a job. Mostly the way it goes is, you go and an interview and they're like, cool, come on board. And you're like, by the way, I don't need paperwork. And they say, never mind. And it makes you feel like shitty. It makes you feel shitty about yourself. It makes you feel like, it really kind of fucks with your ego. So, and I mean, you don't have to be an international student. You will face setbacks in life. So don't let that, ruin yourself. Don't let that fuck with your ego and dignity. Keep your head up regardless of what happens and keep moving. Trust the process. And so I was going to school and working at school, and I got involved with Ad2 Tampa Bay, which is an advertising organization, and I became the public service chair. So for a whole year, I built a team, and we work with this company called Computer Mentors, which provides basically IT and computer education to disadvantaged youth. And we rebuilt their entire brand. We built, we got pro bono campaign. We got pro bono placement on the TV. We filmed the spot. We got the 50 grand as like Tampa Bay Lightning Community Award. We worked so fucking hard for a whole year for absolutely free, as we felt like. Let's carry on. And we went to Vegas. You see, like, I'm so fucking angry here. That's because it's 2 a.m. and the day before presentation, we're still working on the deck. But it ended well. We placed first, and we brought home the trophy for public service competition 2015. That's our ad. So that was cool. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of crazy experience, and let's carry on. And now this photo is very special because I lived somewhere around downtown, and my girlfriend back then that I didn't marry, she's like, hey, I know somebody who works at PPK, my agency. And I always looked up at PPK because, I would like go on my walks between my classes and my work and like see all these cool dudes with super skinny jeans and like pointy shoes. And I'm like, wow, I want to be one of them. I know they make cool ads. And so he knew somebody else living in downtown, and they could get into this apartment that was open to take some photos. We were like taking pictures for Instagram and stuff. And so I met up with Nick and we took photos, and we're like, wow, like we're actually cool. I'm all right. And he said, you should come to PPK and I'll give you an internship. Let's carry on. Wrong logo. But PPK is, at that time, was about a 40 people agency. It's a full service ad agency. So, there's like a booth to record audio. We can edit a TV. We can outsource some, TV commercial shooting. We had writers. We had graphic designers, layout, digital advertising. So 40 people is, a decent amount. And I went in, again, hot. Okay, lesson 7, network. I mean, this is probably most likely how most of you will get the jobs you want. Applying for jobs is fine and dandy, and it works too. But networking is where it's at, because it's all about people want to, do stuff with people they like. That's all it is about. Sales, finding a job, networking. That's why it's nice to be a people's person. Stay in touch with people, keep contacts, reach out to people like whose job you want. Ask them about it. Ask them how you can get closer to where you're a good applicant for that job. Network. And again, I came in hot. I was taking photos. I came in completely selfish into this free internship with my camera, my laptop, taking photos for, this was Solid Gold. It's like a pet food brand. It's a little bigger now, national. We can carry on. We can play this. So this is how it started. It was me and Nick, and Jen worked with us. We can play. There's just like some music. But yeah, and Mac DeMarco, hell yeah. But this is like how my internship started. I worked for free on my goddamn laptop with my camera. Wow, that's very cool. And it was like so grassroots and so youthful and energetic. This was our room, right? Three of us sat there. She left sometime. Like there was a point where it was just me and Nick, and we were working on Miracle Challenge client, which is like a Children's Miracle Network hospital thing. So I was smashing through some work, working wholeheartedly. Let's carry on. And yeah, and there's gonna be 3 videos in a row, so I'm sorry. We can just play it in the small screen. And this is like, then we sat there next. And all of a sudden there's like 6 people on our team. And we're sitting not in a room, but like in the pit. Because our team is growing and we're getting more clients and we can carry on. And you know, we moved again and like the agency is getting bigger. We got the Florida Lottery as a client, which pushed us to like 100 people. So I was there very much, you know, a part of the whole growth, a part of the process, working very hard, and let's carry on. And woohoo, they agreed to sponsor my work visa. So that's our TPK team at some point in time. That's our Christmas photo. TK is the owner. Who else? Some people left, some people stayed. Where's Garrett? There's me. Sore thumb type of vibe. But I mean, it was awesome. It was still like we're starting to get buttoned up. We're now a little more buttoned up, but this was, you know, we go to happy hours together all the time. We had so much friendship and culture and love. The agency was awesome. Let's carry on. Getting bigger. That's our office in downtown, the Tampa Postcard Building. And so essentially, to be able, what I did basically is I joined PPK as a free intern, and they're like, okay, we're gonna pay you like $3,000 a month, which is as an independent contractor after you pay taxes is not that much money at all. Anyway, so I did a CPT, which is, I think it's like professional training. Yeah. What's the C for? Okay, I don't know either. Cool. But essentially, it is a way for an international student to work while you're going to school. You pay for a credit, and you get a chance to work. And so I worked in social media first. Then I worked in web on the paper. I kept adding value to social media. And then I worked at accounts on paper. I was on paper having all these internships just to stay at the company and prove myself. Boy, did I. I worked with clients like Visit Tampa Bay, Madame Tussauds, Children's Miracle Hospitals, Huddle House, the Florida Lottery, Tasty Cake, Wonder Bread. That's later. That's me in Prague giving speech on behalf of PPK. I got Employee of the Month 2 times. I was fucking smashing. I was like staying until 9 p.m. working on like dumbass company videos of like us partying, you know, for like 4th of July. I was just very eager and I wanted to prove myself, and I jumped on any opportunity and worked very hard. And this is the most important video. So they did sponsor my visa, and I got approved. And the cool fact is that PPK, you saw how there was a plus PP plus K, because it was actually modeled. They were also super huge fans of CP plus B. Where the hell's my book? Take your time. I'm just kidding. So PPK, the agency where I work now, was modeled after Crispin, and like quite recently, Crispin kind of went down, and we've been interviewing people. Like I got to interview people from Crispin, from the agency where I wanted to work, working now here in Tampa. Oh, how the turntables. So my professional immigration process, how it may look like this. So first, and most of the time, you either get a CPT or OPT. CPT is while you still go to school, you get a credit. OPT is you have a year after you graduate. It's difficult for you, huh?
Yeah. The C is curricular.
Curricular.
Practical.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're so right.
So basically, you get an internship. Then the internship's got to be at a good time, because you have to have time to prove yourself to the employer for the April deadline for them to sponsor your work visa. Normally, a work visa lasts 2 years. And somewhere in there, if you still like each other enough, you start your green card process. That takes about 1.5 to 2 years. The government shut down twice while I was in my green card process, so mine took like 3. And then after you're on a green card for 4 years and 9 months, you can apply for a passport. You can pass the tests. I know the presidents. Hello, I'm American. I think at 3. I got my green card in 2020, so I'm at 3 years now. That's kind of it in a nutshell. And we got some rapid fire more lessons. All right, lesson 1. Hire a lawyer. Basically, they know what your options are. Hire a lawyer. Hire 2 lawyers. Normally, consultations like $100, probably a little more now. Get 2 different opinions. A lot of them don't know jack shit. Some do. Just get some opinions. Do some homework. What are your options? Where you stand? How long things take? Next one is put your best foot forward. Whew. I was just looking at resumes today, and I was clicking on some website portfolios, and there's like no website. Clearly, you don't give a shit. Why should I care? Put your best foot forward. Do your homework. Make a badass portfolio if you want to work in advertising. Make your resume look good, especially as an international student. You have to be above and beyond. Consider your options, countries. Okay, so sunk cost. Does anyone know what a sunk cost is? Yeah, so sunk cost is essentially a cost. It's something that you already spent. It's not going to come back. Sunk cost is like most illustrated in casino. You're like, shit, I'm playing, like I already lost so much money, I got to play more to make the money back. But that's erroneous. That's not correct. So what I'm saying here is maybe you don't want to be in the United States if you're an international student. No, I'm not kicking you out. I'm just saying I had American friends who moved to freaking Europe, and I'm like, why am I trying to be here so hard? Maybe you want to go, maybe go to Australia or Canada if you want to be abroad, like more reasonable immigration systems, point-based, or maybe there's opportunity home. Maybe you're here just to study. Maybe there's some other country. I don't know. Maybe you want to jump around. So mind your sunk costs. Just because you spend a lot of time in a country does not mean that you have to settle there. Your options are open. The past is past. It's done. What's in the future? Plan it out. As we talk about, there's some planning involved. So like you'll have to mind your internship time, when you get a visa, how long it takes, when you can apply. So know your timelines. It's a lot more difficult to wing something like that. So make sure you plan it out. No right way. It's probably the second slide. They'll get me in trouble. I have a lot of international student friends, not students then. And I've seen all kinds of paths. The lawyer that told me to get married, I think he was actually kind of right. I probably wouldn't have to do all this bullshit if I did. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you have to get some people get married to get their paperwork. Some people do it because of love. Some don't. I'm not encouraging you to do it by any means. I have a friend who got his green card through refugee process, and he found some lawyer who wrote this case for him that he was a Jehovah's Witness in Russia, and that he was prosecuted there. He was not. He got his green card, and the lawyer called him up. He's like, well, guess what? It's time to go to church. He had to start going to Jehovah's Witness church to prove his paperwork. And then eventually he found a company that sponsored his green card legally. So I'm not telling you to do any, shady stuff. I'm just saying there's no right way to do this. If you want to stay, if you want to go, if you want to see what's out there on the table for you, asking doesn't hurt. Did you skip something? Okay, perfect. No. Enjoy the journey. Whew, this is another tough one for international students especially. When I was waiting on my work visa, on my green card, it's always like you wait for the next thing. It's like you wait and wait. Well, I'm going to get my green card. I can go to Europe and eat a fucking croissant, or I can do this and that. Waiting is fine, but don't live your life waiting. You got to enjoy the journey. Enjoy the now. Do the things that you love. Plan and go towards the goal like we spoke. Claim. Oh, I'm not going to spoil the next slide. Let's go to the next slide. Claim your agency. As in not just your advertising agency or a company you want to work for. Claim the ownership for your life and what you want to do. Don't let this difficult process, if you're an international student, just, push you through the gears, get out of the groove, and figure out what you want to do. See where you want to go, and own your life. Like, own where you want to go, what you want to do. Don't let stupid processes or other people decide who you are. Live your own life. And more questions time. And this is the end. So. I have my contact information on the last slide. Feel free to write it down and ask me if you have any questions, suggestions, or anything like that.
I think we have time for 2 questions, but I also want to make sure we sing happy birthday. Please.
Happy birthdays.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Dmitrii. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you for having me and for the beautiful song. I kind of booked this on my birthday because it's important for me to speak to people who are going for something similar that I have. If I could, travel into the past and shake my old self, and I'll probably say these things. I apologize if some of them were cynical or maybe rough. Excuse my foul language, but I hope it was helpful. Yes, please.
How old were you when you left school? Like, this the 3rd time you applied for a visa or something?
So I got my green card 2020. I got my work visa 2 or 3 years before then. So it's been 2017. I must have been like late 20s.
Do you still work with PPK? And if so, what's your current position?
Yeah, so I still work with PPK, 8.5 years. I'm interactive creative director. So I work on social media and digital execution. Please. We'll get to the second question. We're going to give other people a chance.
What's one of your favorite campaigns before?
Favorite campaigns? Do we have internet? Oh yeah, we're in the future. I forget. Look up Florida Lottery that week. There you go. Smell of success. So this is the campaign we did for the Florida Lottery in January. This is of course going to be paywalled, but to launch these new scratch-offs, we actually made a cologne for the Florida Lottery. The scratch-off was this like high-level elite scratch-off, and we designed this cologne. We designed the scent. It was like, I really wanted to do this, and I really wanted to learn how to do this whole thing. There's actually videos. We shot these like awesome ethereal, the videos are not here. It has like cowboys, and it's like Johnny Depp, like Savage ads inspired. And I spent I gave up my entire holiday vacation to learn Cinema 4D to learn and do that. So that's my latest favorite campaign. But the goal is to make the one that you're working on your favorite. I work with AI some, not that much. We do have AI help with social media captions. We do AI to help with, look up the Florida Lottery Gold Rush. That was the name of the ticket. We have this one guy who records video for us, and sometimes when he's not available, we feed his voice to AI, and then the AI spits out video, his voiceover in his voice. We didn't tell him the first time we did it. Super unethical, kind of sketchy, funny too. But we didn't do anything crazy. We do some AR. We work with Snapchat now to make a snap filter lens for holidays. Yeah, this is a commercial. This one. This one I don't love. It's just a social post. There's some more cinematic ones. You can look it up or let me know after and I'll send you a link. This is the 31. Yeah, this is the actual commercial. And we made it work with the perfume. So in this ad, they're actually looking at the scratch-offs. But in the perfume part, we integrated the perfume bottle. So it's like the bottle's coming out of the water. And we added some like close up V or like that. Yeah, like that. So it's like all of your, cologne advertising tropes and cliches. It's a fun campaign. Second question?
Do you have more friends at PPK that were also sponsored by the company?
We had internationals, but none of them, I'm not sure. From what I know in my department, we had a couple of people and none of them stuck with me. It's tough, but it's not unattainable. Well, I'll hang out if you guys have any questions, but thank you so much.
Dmitrii, thank you guys so much for coming. See you next week. This will have our meeting tomorrow. I think that's what